Hi, and welcome to Den and Denim. It's a very fun episode where I get to review, after seeing A Complete Unknown, the new Bob Dylan biopic. Now, of course, I'm a fashion history channel, and so I have to do what clothes were in there and talk about the Levi's vintage clothes that were in the movie. It's a big deal for that. Then I'm going to do a separate episode where I talk about the biopic film review and compare it to a couple other films. And then I'm going to do a special treat. Hopefully I'll be able to put it all together for a compilation. And then we still got the 1961 551 Z episode to explore more about Bob Dylan, singer-songwriters, and American music in the 20th century. This episode is about the fashion review of the clothes. And I had to see it. This is a film with a collaboration between Levi's Vintage Clothing, makers of my favorite label, the big reason for this channel, and they were able to get a lot of their clothes into the film. Now there's a special boxed edition. You can buy a suede jacket or the 1955 customized pants, and it comes with a belt, and they come in a box with some photos from the movie. You do see these jeans in there. You see the jacket for like 2 scenes, and you see a few other jackets. You see Dylan's pop-up cap that he's wearing quite prominently in the film. The jeans you see, and I believe you can actually see a little bit of patch. Now, the pair that Timothée Chalamet is wearing is actually designed by Miss Adrienne Phillips. She would have gotten a similar patch, just had everything made her own. This is a reconstructed pair of Levi's that she had done for the filming for him. But based on what they think, working with Paul O'Neill from Levi's Vintage, Bob Dylan was wearing in some of the silhouettes. The album cover of his second album, Freewheelin'. This is what they've gathered. About 5 years ago, the idea was that he was wearing 551 Zs from 1961, which is about the year he was there. Maybe he did go to New York and buy a new pair of jeans, and he decided to go with the 551s, which was the 14-ounce denim compared to the shrink-to-fit 12-ounce denim of the 501s. After you shrink it, it kind of turns to 14-ounce, so they'd be just as heavy. But getting pre-shrunk was a new thing back then. That's what that Z stands for. Oh, I'm sorry, that's what the middle 5 stands for. The Z stands for zipper. 501s are button fly, but at that time you could buy them in a zipper as well. 501Zs. Now, I have a few pairs I want to show you from my collection. Here is a customized pair of 66s. Similar-ish in details, but of course you switch to bar tacks. No more exposed rivets, no more lemon yellow stitching. The fit of the 55 is very loose. The fit of the 60s models, a little more straight leg. This has been done up by the guys at LVC, but also by my mother-in-law, and it's just a constant sewing and falling apart shredder's pair. Now, for the 55s that Timothée Chalamet is wearing, the backs have been cut and enlarged. Makes them into a bell bottom. And his girlfriend at the time is the one who's responsible for it. They don't talk about that in the film, though. But you can see how much Bob loved them. Here's what looks like a few other influence pieces from LVC items that the wardrobe department reinvented in their own sort of way. As far as other LVC stuff that you see being worn, I believe that his girlfriend, or it was Joan Baez, was wearing... Yes, I think it was Joan Baez who was wearing a pair of black 701s, or 701 shorts. And her clothes are really the star of the show. Joan Baez's clothes in this film are amazing from beginning to end. Even when she's wearing like a plain white t-shirt, you're still just like, Is that unbleached cotton fibers? Just perfect. It's perfect. The dresses. And I believe she's got some kind of a white tab Levi's capri culottes. Some kind of culotte shorts. I did see in one of the festival scenes, towards the 2/3 of the way through, and you can see it too, that someone has a Type 2 jacket from the back. You'll see that patch. And it does look a lot like they kind of had a bunch of 1955s, 1960 501Zs, and just some other few items floating around from the catalogs of Folk City, which is 2019, and then 2021 you had A Shocking Truth, another late 50s, early 60s catalog of Levi's vintage clothing. This shirt is from The Shocking Truth. Oh no, this is from the Jazz one. Roughly same time, but you can see that they were in that era. 5 years ago, LVC was heavily in that era, and then they went to the historical stuff during the time that you would have the 150th anniversary. I do have one piece from early 60s, and that I can tell you is a 503, 504Z, and you see that off-centered belt loop? That's what you're going to see on 1960, 61, 63 pairs. Anything from that era should have that off-centered belt loop. And this is a kid size, my only historical item. The rest of these are just vintage recreations. Here's the 55s that they decided. It's just a very popular cut. So many people have this. I find it to be on the looser side. I would recommend a downsize. Now, that it fits a little better. Or get your true to size, do a shrink to fit. That's a wonderful way to go. You'll see a few Easter eggs, like at Gertie's, they'll have the Folk City sticker, just like LVC has for their collection tags. Overall, I'm so glad that there is a movie that is set in conjunction with Levi's vintage clothing, trying to recreate all of these ideas, but doing it with the recreated clothing that you can buy yourself. I'm trying to tell the 501 saga with that. I'm trying to match a top from the era that goes with something that you believe that it's all encompassed. Other film ideas that I'd really like to see this with are the upcoming Young Guns 3, maybe even 4 and 5. And also in a Quantum Leap. That should be in Quantum Leap. Like a whole just LVC edition of Quantum Leap going throughout the 20th century, jumping into another pair of 501s. Clothes are something I like analyzing because as I'm a writer, I can write about food, clothes, facial hair with descriptions that you wouldn't find in another book. Just part of fleshing out the universe. If you saw any other clothes in there that you'd like to talk about, leave a comment. If you're watching the movie just for the clothes, I would wait till it comes to tape or streaming, whichever it's on, and you can get a pause and zoom in and see. Saw it at theaters. Worth it to tell you guys, and it's a fun experience. Talk about my film review of biopics and the problems with that, and a special episode about poems and Dylan later on this month. I'm Dan. Thanks for watching Den and Denim. Love your jeans. Big shout out to Unbleached Apparel and my Patreon members. Copper Rivet members Fitsanu Boone Prossert, Bardzo dziękuję, Zuzana, and Sam Z. If you'd like to support the channel, you can purchase a t-shirt from Unbleached Apparel, use the code DENINDENIM, or you can buy some awesome selvage denim from my affiliate links. Join the Patreon or just a simple subscribe really helps it out and keeps me going.